Hey, Jensen, welcome to another episode of Marvel Future Revolution. Don't be afraid. Yes, this is Marvel Future Fight on the screen. Like I told you, I'm bringing excuse me. I'm going to bring you content for both, but this time I'm going to bring you content specifically to let's talk about the jaw-dropping reveal that we got from the live stream yesterday with Jolie and Danny Koo. Illyana Rasputin. She is coming to Marvel Future Revolution soon. She's probably going to be our first character that we get updated inside the game. We're probably looking at it maybe next month, September, or sometime shortly after. We know we're getting a new invasion mode, but led by Thanos, which is probably going to be some kind of cross-server play. But we know we're also getting Illyana Rasputin as one of the characters. So this is going to be pretty dope because Magik is probably one of those characters that I think a lot of people love. We most recently saw her inside the new Mutants movie, produced by Fox, which was pretty shit, but we did get to see Anya Taylor-Joy play the character, and I thought all in all she didn't do a bad job at it. But let's talk about what we're going to expect. So if you don't know who she is, she's basically the sister of Colossus, which is a really interesting backstory in of itself. I highly suggest you go pick up some copies of the New Mutants or jump on over to marvelcomics.com and you can probably read some of the digital comics there. Be pretty cool read. But basically Illyana has the or Magik, I'll just call it for Magik from now, and this is the costume most resembling the picture that they showed in the game or in the live stream. So I'm gonna imagine that what we're gonna get is something that probably looks like this. So right off the jump, I think she's going to be a really fucking cool character, and the reason why I say that is because of her abilities. And I'm going to show you specifically inside Marvel Future Fight some things that we might be able to expect from her kit. So for instance, Illyana, her main ability that she has is teleportation. She has a ability basically where she summons a gateway that transports her through her dimension that she controls called Limbo, or her Limbo dimension, and she can teleport to different places through those dimensions. Like she can go like planetary distances. So I'm wondering how they're going to play that out in the game, because I can't imagine they're going to have her jumping all across the screen to different locations on the map with really far, but it would be disingenuous not to, because that's the extent of her powers. So like she can go literally places and teleporting. Think of I'd like to compare her technique to Bamf with Nightcrawler. So but she can teleport a lot, and the really cool part is she's basically gonna get another sorcery character like Doctor Strange. She actually controls some magic powers, so like I think it's gonna be really cool to see that. She basically had some things like like astral projection, so we might get something like Doctor Strange's astral projection, but most likely probably not. Her magic abilities seem to be more expressed in her use of the Eldritch Sword and the Eldritch Armor, or the Soul Sword rather, excuse me, Soul Sword and the Eldritch Armor. So basically what I mean by that is Illyana, basically when she uses her magical powers, she starts to imbue more magical armor on her. You kind of got to see this inside the New Mutants when Anya Taylor-Joy used the character's power, and you got to see like the gauntlet come up her arm and everything like that. And she basically has a soul sword, so you see this big ass bad sword that she's basically carrying over here, and that is a really cool magical sword of her own, because it's soul sword is pretty cool. It disrupts like all magical energies, so if we had to have PvP where it would be like her versus Doctor Strange, she should have somewhat of an upper hand. Constructs, like she can kill creatures with it. So it's pretty cool. The sword is not really physical, so while it looks like it is, it really isn't. It's like I said, it's almost like, think of it like a psionic kind of sword, because Illyana also is like one of the telepaths, so she basically has some kind of side powers, but that one's never really expressed as much. But I'm going to show you her kit basically inside the game that she has here, so that way you kind of get to see some of the things. So we had 2 costumes for Illyana, and this is going to be a good one for you guys, right? So we had the original costume, which was the modern costume with Illyana dressed in all black, and then we got the Phoenix 5 costume, which was dope as hell. Now, and you can see the difference in the Elder Sword. Now, keep in mind that when she basically became a member of the Phoenix 5, highly suggest you go read the Phoenix 5 series. It was fucking amazing to me. She basically became imbued with the Phoenix Force as well, so it's really, really cool. But let's go back to this uniform, the original one, because there were some skill changes across the uniform. The reason why I show you guys this stuff is because Illyana clearly is going to, the game clearly is going to have grounds to use things from Marvel Future Fights content to be expressed inside, inside Marvel Future Revolution. If you can compare Captain America, which I will do some kit examinations of the characters between Marvel Future Fight and Marvel Future Revolution, so that way you can kind of see them. So like inside here, where they basically gave Illyana, where she had super armor, all defenses, which totally makes sense for her because of her Eldritch armor and her soul sword. So her having those increased damage resistances would make sense inside the game, because like if you look at most of the characters, there's a focus typically on what they can do. Like, if you're playing Iron Man, for instance, he seems more focused on attack and critical damage. That's the kind of thing that you're basically looking at when I'm talking about that. So she should get some probably armor defense bonuses, like maybe she'll be a defensive character because of the armor, and then get some defense and attack buffs, right? Along with her other passive that she had inside Marvel Future Fight was she had an increase of all attacks. So we call that a frenzy buff, right? So she had that increase of all attack, and she had an HP recovery buff as well, which makes sense for the character. We would love to see that. So when we look at some of her abilities, she basically had, her magic blade, her stepping disc, which is what her, teleportation was originally called. She was summoning those stepping discs. And when she did, she actually summoned demons as well. So like we might maybe get the first summon character in the game. I say summons character, but like Iron Man summons his other armor suits, but they don't really do anything. I wonder if she might be the first of the characters where we might get a character that actually does a summon that might follow her around, because this one's a little weird, because her summons that she gets from this, in the comic books, they don't really last long. And then you can see she had the pentagram trap, and then she has mystical armor. So let's go and preview some of these skills, so that way you get a better idea of what I'm saying when I say that these are like some things that we can expect from the kit. So like you can see, it's a pretty awesome looking model in my opinion. Let's go with her skills. Simple, nice sword attacks that she has. Yeah, Illyana's looking pretty good. I think a lot of people is going to be happy to see this babe when she drops in game. Waifu material here. 4 skill, and this should be no, that's not the demon summons. So you can see on his 3rd skill right here where she summons the demons on the field, and they're like little hellcats, and they're helping attack, so they don't do anything other than that. So that might be some kind of skill that we could see in the game where it's just the same as probably like Iron Man's skill. Then you can see she gets a nice sword slash, where it's mostly her sword doing attack. And then here we go, she goes full demon inside her 5th skill, growing hooves, tails, and armoring all the way up. That was a skill for Illyana Rasputin inside this game, and it's one of the skills that literally was expressed. The more she uses her magic powers, the more these demonic expressions are expressed in her life form. So you saw they did inside the New Mutants movie with Anna Taylor-Joy. It's something that they're possibly going to do inside here. And we basically then got the Phoenix 5 uniform, and that one was pretty cool. I remember purchasing this. It wasn't a great uniform for her inside Marvel Future Fight. Still is not a great uniform, but I thought it looked pretty sick, so I purchased it. I'm not going to lie. Like you can see, I haven't even leveled up her skills and stuff like that, but I just thought the uniform was just amazing to look at. And she had some different, I think some of her skills changed, but it wasn't quite as, like I said, it wasn't a really good uniform inside the game. But let's take a look at some of the skills that she has inside here. So a lot of them don't necessarily change. They're still technically the same with a little bit more. So you can see like on her at the end of her first skill, that Phoenix energy has come out. She unleashes a Phoenix that goes flying across the screen. And we get this nicer, cooler looking summoning skill, skill that's basically summoning the fires from Limbo. More expression of that with the Hellhounds as well. So it was an upgraded skill. You can see the Hellhounds are still there. Fourth skill, way better looking in terms of just unleashing that soul sword. And then her fifth skill is still the same. She just basically turns into this demonic looking being because she's fully unleashing the power of the soul sword and her magic energies. Basically the Eldritch armor is overtaking her. So all in all, we've got quite a lot that we can look forward to with Illyana Rasputin. I'm looking forward to the character. I think a lot of players are looking forward to the character. I mean, in terms of what we might expect from the character, I think there's quite a bit, like, I mean, this is a uniform that we could potentially see day one, because you can see that they're not shying away at all from dropping uniforms. And the great thing about Marvel Future Revolution is that they seem fully committed to these costumes, regardless of how we feel about the cost of them and stuff like that. They are 100% all in. I'm gonna release a video about the costumes and the crafting system, but getting these looks inside the game and stuff like that, they are just bar none, just going all ham in it. Like, we already got Miguel O'Hara 2099 for Spider-Man inside the game. That's amazing as hell. We already got War of Realms. That is not even an old comic book series. That's a relatively new comic book series, and we got that freaking outfit for Iron Man already. So I think in some regards, seeing Illyana enter the game, we basically get another magic user, akin to Doctor Strange. If you played the full story so far, you can see some I don't want to give it away yet. I'm probably going to do a stream this weekend for running a character through the story, and I'll give it away then. But we're basically going to have another magic character. I love that we're getting a potential like Marvel Knight-ish character more inside the game. So it's crazy. I literally thought we were gonna get an Avengers character or something like that. They went straight full bore. They were like, hey, we're going X-Men and we're going Youngs. If you're really looking forward to learning stuff about magic, I would highly suggest picking up or going over to Marvel Comics. Like, I read a lot of my old Marvel Comics now on the Marvel Comics platform, the digital platform. Is it the best? No, it's not the greatest. I think most people probably would go over to Comixology and stuff like that, but you can basically go to either one of these. And I'm gonna obviously plug Marvel Comics because this is their property, but either one of those would suit you. Comixology is great as well. Great place for digital platform. Otherwise, head over to the store, pick up some New Mutant comics if you're not. I have a feeling that there's going to be a shit ton of players switching over to best waifu Illyana Rasputin, because that character model for Illyana is absolutely amazing looking. I mean, it's definitely they definitely keyed up on what I think the player base was going to respond to, and the level of detail that they have in the game for their character models. I think it's gonna it's gonna look amazing. Obviously we're gonna get more than just that one black uniform for her on release, the way they've been releasing costumes, so expect to get more of that. And just, yeah, I would love to know from the comments, if she does get released, how many of you guys are switching over to to her as your main? How many are you going to invest inside Illyana versus any of the 8 characters that we currently have right now? Please let me know in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you expect more content like this. Hit that like, that subscribe button, comment in the sections below, and I'll take again. Peace.